حلوة كده الزحمة الدفة ولا طالعين له
شارع الورد.
ايه ركبنا الجولف وطالعين بمنتجع. طبعا بدأ المؤتمر لي ما شاء الله هنا الشباب كلهم ما شاء الله منظمين. هذا محضرين المكان لي خلاص. طيب يعطيك العافية. هذا المؤتمر الله يسلمك. سلام. طيب سجل هنا وين التسجيل. السلام عليكم.
عليك صوت الله يسلمك. الله خالي رويد يسلم.
ونعم الله يحييك.
الله يبارك فيك.
الله يحفظك. الله يسلمك.
الله يحييكم.
اليوم
05
للغابات
666 5 8 8 1 5 3 ستات 5 8 8 1 5.
طيب وش تصنيفكم؟
من أي تصنيف؟
يعني متحدد؟
لا حضور فقط عشان نكون رسميين بس.
الله يعطيك الصحة والعافية.
خلاص.
زميل نايف
رويد يسلم.
الله يحييكم.
ولد
في العمارة؟
لا صالح من زمان.
الله
يسلمك.
رويد حسن يسلم.
احنا عشان نموع عليهم هنا انه مو اصحاب المكان.
الله يعطيك الصحة.
0505
الله يسلمك.
ايش اخبارك؟
والله بنعمة يا رب. الله يرفعك.
0505 71 48
خير من
2 4.
الله يسلمك.
إعلامي.
صراحة احنا نجي بس نتفرج.
يلا عبد الله بكتب خلينا ندخل يلا لا نتأخر. بس امسك لي كذا عشان مباشر بس كذا امسك لي وانا اربط عشان بس البس حالي. الله يرضى عليك. كيف حالكم؟
حياك الله.
هو يوم واحد ولا حيستمر كذا يوم؟
اليوم وبكره.
كويس. مفتوح للعامة يجوا الناس العامة اللي بيحضر مو كذا ولا؟
اي صح.
يعطيك العافية.
حياك.
الله يفوقك. من المنظمين ها؟ الله يفوقك. جلسات ايه خلاص. ايه لا اعلام. سلام.
However, infectious diseases, non-communicable diseases, physical habits, nutrition, food, and mental health involvement are also important in this diagram that this publication used to be highlighted. Let's on to our last topic, and it's important one, how we can all be agents of change. What we listed here for you is 24 initiatives on land restoration, on preventing deforestation, on looking at climate change, etc. And it's also a question of how these all duplication or more learning opportunities for replication. And complementing these 24 is a new initiative from the Saudi government on the Saudi Green Initiative. And this will be showcased next year when Saudi hosts the UNCCD COP16. And it's an important opportunity in this meeting to highlight and showcase how we can better link up to that national initiative, as well as the wider initiative that Saudi Arabia is taking. One of the key problems of all of those initiatives is the lack of consistent and common and systematic approaches to these. And the Land Degradation Surveillance Framework provides us with opportunities to show that consistency in monitoring and assessment and evaluation, to be able to compare and better learn and understand all of those things that are going on. So coming back to the WWF publication on how we can have these collective actions, this diagram usefully highlights the responses to look at positive impacts and leveraging those between forests and health, protecting and managing the story and creating community. To our last slide, we request an opportunity to join us in our journey on supporting the Saudi government and the Saudi Green Initiative and the Middle East Green Initiative, but also to look at the wider opportunities in G20 and non-G20 member countries around opportunity community assessment, the economics and financing of restoration, the principles and standards and metrics, the driving restoration impact and its assessment, and the capacity development and capacity mobilization that is so needed in many parts of the world. It's an absolute delight to present this presentation to you and really look forward to a highly productive. Thank you.
We thank Dr. Tony for his insight. That was a very informative presentation. We wish to have him in person with us next time. والآن لدينا 15 دقيقة تقريبا لأخذ الأسئلة من الحضور الكرام.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
طبعا أود أن حقيقة نشكر المركز الوطني للتنمية القطاع النباتي ممثلا بسعادة الرئيس والزملاء في الإدارة العامة للغابات على هذا التنظيم وعلى هذا الاختيار الموفق في هذا الموقع الذي يعتبر طبعا في قلب الغابات. وعلى هذه المحاضرات وهذا الجدول القيم. أنا عندي سؤال لإدواردو على العرض الأول الجميل اللي قدمه إدواردو. Maybe I'll make it easy for you, Eduardo, and speak in English if you like. Yes. When you spoke about the causes of degradation in the forests, you mentioned these causes. I mean, maybe you mentioned more than 10 causes, and you put the urban expansion. I don't know the sixth rank or the fifth. I don't know. But for me, I would ask you please and your team to think of this because for me I would consider it as maybe the first cause, especially in the mountain forest. You know the urban expansion and the road and the industrial development and the tourism as well, unfortunately caused a fragmentation for the mountain forest. And you know the fragmentation within the mountain forest is really the dangerous, let's say, cause in here, because you know these forests, and especially for the lifelong and evergreen trees, especially the juniper trees, those trees get used to some sort of rain and for a long time, for hundreds of years, and maybe thousands, and maybe millions of years. And they get for some sort of water relations and soil relation. And when we started to disturb their environment by roads and houses, all of these sort of development, we disturb in fact these, I mean, sensitive relations. So the degradation now, which is taking widespread place in the mountain forest, especially in الطائف, in الباحة, in Asir, for me, I would relate it to the expansion, not for the logging, overgrazing, maybe in wadis more than in the mountain forest. So please just take this into consideration and think about it with your efforts, inshallah, and your team and your projects. You might come up of one of these causes that could be, I don't know, explained more and work with it more in terms of the reclamation of the forests and the health of the forest, inshallah. Shukran.
Yes, Doctor, thank you very much, Dr. Alhamdi. It's not really a question, it's a guidance, because we are very happy to learn from your wide knowledge on the natural resource management in the kingdom. And we entirely agree. I mean, fragmentation is one of the most important factors causing the degradation of the forest ecosystems. We presented 11 causes, not in order of importance. They are just listed in that slide. For instance, we put forest fire in number 1, but for Wadis, forest fire is not the number 1. You see, it's just to list and to identify, case by case, and I agree with you, fragmentation caused by, especially by the expansion. We have seen the disasters already in the mangrove area. And now we are seeing it in the mountain areas, and we have to address it. I don't know if my colleagues would like to complement, but this is the point of view. Thank you.
أشكر سعادة الدكتور خالد عبد القادر على الدعوة المباركة وعلى التقديم الطيب، وحقيقة سعداء بالمحاضرات الثرية فعلا. ملاحظة بسيطة لزميلي صديقي دكتور إدواردو. I speak in English also. My friend Eduardo, additional to your three type of forest you mentioned it, I think there is the fourth type is the inland forest, what we call it a rawda or oasis. That's we can find it in Riyadh area, in north area, rawdat Ghareem, rawdat Tanhat. It's a special and unique ecosystem.
حتى يوم قاعد يتكلم ايش تاني؟ انا حسيت تسجيل. اي ما اشوف يتعزل. شاشه كبيره.
It's just additional to your very good presentation. And regarding to Natalia, ماذا في ترجمة مباشرة أو أتكلم أيضا بالإنجليزي؟ Okay.
Be great if you speak in English
Okay.
because.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much for your presentation. But I saw the map of the world for the partnership. We don't want Saudi Arabia as a point of partner, and you know there is a lot of effort and great job we do here in Saudi Arabia. For example, the vegetation center. Have planting 10 millions of trees.
دائما طالب وفي لابناء الطائف. الله يكرمك دكتور. الله يعطيك العافيه. تشرفنا اليوم دكتور بواز، الله يعطيك العافيه. واحنا دائما نطالب ان يكون هناك كليه زراعه في جامعه الطائف. ان شاء الله.
So I think we have to see our place in the world. What you just mentioned in the presentation. And also regarding to the flagship.
عبد الوهاب امسك شويتك.
10 years, 10 countries. I think also we have to be with the first 10 countries. Thank you very much.
Questions. First of all, I will direct to you, Mr. Eduardo, if you can go ahead.
Thank you so much for the question. Thank you so much. Because it's something that we have been discussing with the colleagues, even this morning. When you talk about forests in Saudi Arabia, we tend to say from Jizan to Taif. But then there are these ecosystems that by the environmental law are perfectly fit within the definition of forests. And they are a bit everywhere around the kingdom. Because they have the trees, like you mentioned, kind of oases, they can be anywhere. So, alhamdulillah, we have now the resources, thanks to the Saudi Green Initiative, to develop a comprehensive national forest inventory. We are going, this is in the plan, on the initiative that we are leading. we are going to make the investment to make a continuing assessment of the vegetation cover, including specifically forest ecosystems. And we are going to establish the sample plots, hopefully in a way that you'll be able to monitor the development of them. We are also looking to a high resolution image to have the last 20 years evolution, to understand where they have been degrading, for us to intervene and stop degradation. Degradation has to stop and enhance, improve regeneration, improve, expand to tree planting. This is in the pipeline to be done. But you are absolutely right. We should not be shy in terms of saying that there are forests a bit everywhere. Even in the empty quarters, sometimes we discuss with our CEO, the vegetation is there. If it fits the definition, why not we are going to consider haloxylum, which is a shrub that can evolve to a tree site as a forest. Discussing with my colleagues in the rangeland. Rangelands are the most expansive type of ecosystem in the kingdom. Sometimes there is an accumulation of trees inside the rangeland that could be classified as forest. So we are in this process of not being shy in terms of defining what are the forests of the kingdom, where they are, and how to protect them. Regarding your point to Dr. Alexieva, I don't know if she's online, but I would like to reinforce one aspect of your question also put into her. Saudi Arabia has, according to our research, the second most ambitious restoration program in the planet, from all what we have seen, only behind China. Because everything is behind China now in terms of figures, they have this tree planting scale that is fantastic. Being number 2 in the planet in terms of ambition to restore is something that is at the same time a reason of proud and a challenge for us, because we have to do it. Thank you.
Eduardo, thank you. So, any other questions? Please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
جاهزين يا ماما.
السلام عليكم.
ده ما بيجي بالشاشة. المفروض اللي يعرف بنفسه.
السلام عليكم.
يعرف بنفسه.
عبد الله أحمد الفيل من جامعة الملك عبد العزيز. I just want to stress for what the points Dr. Eduardo mentioned about the forest area kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He said that the forest kingdom of Saudi Arabia about 2.7, and if you see that is the global forest assessment from 2009 until 2020, this figure is stable, it didn't change. If you report to find that the area of the forest area in Saudi Arabia is 2.7. 2009, 2011, and until 2000, and this figure is not changed. This may call for our stress for the national forest assessment program, because also we are talking about this agreed initiative. Many people are aware we need a lot of information, lacking fragmented. And the forest area in Saudi Arabia, also the diversity, mountain forests, mangrove forests, and dryland forests. So this may call for a comprehensive national forest inventory for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Thank you very much, Doctor. I think, like Dr. Handi mentioned, this is more a recommendation than a question, because we have to do the assessment. You're absolutely right. Saudi Arabia is reporting the last 30 years, was it? Yes. Dr. Hosni Lakani is the former Assistant Director General of FAO, was responsible for the figures. He said in the last 30 years, the figures reported didn't change. So it has been always the same figure. But as I mentioned in my previous comment, we have now the resources to establish a national forest monitoring and assessment system that is continuing. I have already discussed this process with my colleague, Dr. Ahmad Al-Nami, and we are in the process of putting up this national forest monitoring system that will give us the almost real-time possibility of assessing the forest, identifying the forest and forest types based on the densities, and hopefully be able to better protect and develop the resource. I think the question generates a number of reactions to the public.
Yes. I think he has a follow-up question, right? You can go ahead. First, I'm sorry. Let's take here. Sorry about that.
ايوه السلام عليكم.
في واحد هناك الظاهر عنده مشاركة.
خلاص.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. ياسر قطان من المركز. Maybe we'll say it in English for Eduardo and everybody here. I think we cannot achieve our objective for the kingdom and for the Middle East without involving the community. Just a comment, we cannot do it without
لازم نسأله بالإنجليزي ولا مشاركة؟
and without getting them involved in our initiatives.
الإعلام ضعيف التوعية باليوم العالمي ما حد داري. أنا البارح اتصلت وأنا مهندس زراعي ما داري.
It is very important role for
بالعكس حتى ما أدري إنه في يوم عالمي للغابات. هو من عام 2012 مسوي.
تحريجهم بس بالسؤال.
لا ما أقول لهم. عندي سؤال ثاني هذا ما له دخل.
We'll go back first to the follow-up question, then we'll take her question.
أو إنه تجيبها بطريقة إنه أتمنى يكون في توعية أكثر.
إيه بالطريقة هذه.
لطيفة يعني.
Thank you very much. Just short comment. I think there is two measurements for the forest. One is the forest land and the forest. The forest land areas should be put in our mind that is our target to expand our forest. But if we say the forest area only, that we just put our trees, communication or community in that size. So what happened before maybe 100 years, it was maybe 10% of Saudi Arabia. After that,
بس يوم أسهل بس تمسك الجوال بداني يوم أسهل.
أبشر حاضر.
عشان آخذ راحتي.
Forest areas, that means we forget about the forest land. So it's very important to measure it because it's part of the forest.
Thank you very much for the insight. First, let's take her question, then we'll go back to you. Go ahead, Dr. العالمي, I guess. Yes, go ahead. Mic, please, there. On the back.
السلام عليكم، دكتورة العالمي من المركز، مستشار غير متفرغ، أستاذ مساعد في البيئة النباتية جامعة المكسر. You mentioned some of most important effect or pollutions affected the forest. So do you think the plastic waste, especially parley bags, is one of the most important causes of visual and forest pollution? I think we really need real recommended effective steps to reduce it. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. We'll take your question first, then we'll answer. Yes, go ahead, please. Yes.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. مهندس زراعي جامعة الملك سعود رويد اسلم. قبل 20 عام من مؤسسي أكبر منتزه وطني في الطائف اللي هو منتزه سيسل. نتمنى يكون في توعية أكثر باليوم العالمي ليعلم الجميع والعالم وخاصة في الوطن. الحافز الأول للمحافظة على أي شيء هو كيف يستفيد منه. ونتمنى يكون في استثمار لهذه الغابات، كيف استفيد من هذه الغابات، أصماغ، أخشاب، أدوية. ولاحظ ضعف الاستثمار والتوجه لهذا الاستثمار هي التي ستحفز الجميع للمحافظة على الغابات واستصلاحها وإكثارها. يعطيكم العافية.
الله يعطيك العافية.
Okay, let's have Mr. Eduardo, you can go ahead if you have any insights.
Thank you very much. Como mistake to call me doctor. You are a doctor. I am just مهندس and very honored to be مهندس with some other
دكتور مين؟
comment just for us to round up because the facilitator alerted me.
في جامعة السياحة؟ في أي جامعة؟ جامعة أم القرى. والنعم الله يعطيك العافية. حيكون محاضرة لك بكرة؟ بكرة.
Also because not all the forest land belongs to the state. There are private land that needs to be restored in terms of forest. So that comes also with the point that has been raised by the gentleman that spoke last. Awareness is everything if we want to involve community. And this was the message that Amir and I, she also helped the preparation in the PowerPoint, had to bring to the attention of this International Day of Forests. People have to understand the importance of it and participate on it. So thank you very much. And Dr. Kutaiba, once again, you are absolutely right. When I was discussing the forest inventory with my colleague, Dr. Anami, we came up with the forest area, which from GIS would be at least 7 million hectares, correct? In this part of the country. And we know that the forests are not there anymore, but they are forest land. And if the forests today are 2.7 million, that 7 million hectares could be recovered, at least in part, and become forest again, inshallah. So that's your point is straight correctly. There are forests and there are forest lands. And forest lands can be turned into forests if we go to the right direction. I think I covered all the, Dr. Nura. The question of pollution. I mentioned many things I like in the kingdom since I arrived 5 months ago. There is one thing that I really don't like, is to see the pollution in the forest, especially in the wadis. The dumping of garbage in the forest is something that has to stop. The pollution that we see caused by humans and also the other contaminations that come up are something that is one of the threats of the environment, and they cause danger to other purposes we have. For instance, outdoor activities are one of the main uses of forests in the kingdom. They have to be nice and clean. You see, if we go for outdoor activities in a place that has garbage spread, nobody likes it. No one. So I think your point is absolutely right, and it's part of the awareness that has been raised here. I thank you very much, Dr. Amal, for being kind with me in terms of the time.
Thank you very much. Yes, please, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Abdurrahman Sheikh. I'm an architect and environmental activist. I would like to welcome you, أرحبكم في الطائف باسم الطائف الخضراء. I just want to second to my colleague who talked about the involvement of the community. I think without there is something for the community in protecting the environment, it's not going to work. There has to be some program that environment will see and feel that there is something for, there is an added value for the community for doing that. I know there is an invitation from Taif al-Khadra to visit my humble initiative where I acquired a small wadi and tried to protect it for the last 17 years. And I'm sure that you'll be happy to see what has been done here by the local community. So without the government establishing programs whereby the local community can see benefit from protecting the environment, it is not going to. That's all I want to say. Thank you. And I would love to see you all in the visit that is planned to my Mahni. Shukran.
Shukran. Yes, local communities, involving communities and social awareness is very important. آخر سؤال. Yes, please, go ahead.
السلام عليكم. أخوكم الدكتور
دكتور سلطان الشريف جامعة الطائف قسم الأحياء. جزاكم الله خير ويعطيكم العافية على الدعوة الكريمة. Thank you everyone for the informative talks. Just a small point commenting on the threats that you kindly mentioned in that nice list. We can see recently a large number of trees peeling out the parks by camels, and I didn't see that in the list. You kindly show us, Mr. Mansour, and that is spreading out. I'm talking about Medina Munawwara area, and actually considering is much important here to take into account, because Acacia tortilis, Acacia cyan, Acacia melodica, about 6 to 8 different species of Acacia are threatened too much by this, I would say, new behavior of camels can be seen recently, is what not there in the past, just a few years ago. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your question. Yes, please. Yeah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. معكم سعيد الحارثي، مهتم في أمور البيئة اهتمام شخصي، ونشكر جميع المحاضرين سواء هنا في القاعة أو من خارج المملكة. وعندي اقتراح to make programs, awareness programs for the public, not just for the people like in this conference. They are also, they have an idea about the importance of the forest, and we want to initiate new programs to educate the people to awareness of the for the forest. And I asked Dr. Ward about how much the forest is consuming for the waters of grow plants, up plants and the forest. What is the impact to the water, because we are in Saudi Arabia, very short of this waters, and for that. Thank you very much for all, and this is my question.
Thank you very much for your insight. I think the water irrigation is the irrigation system is very important. If you can add something, Mr. Eduardo.
I can try. This is the type of question that I would like with the help of colleagues, and we have 2 days of conference, we can continue discussing. But let me go a quick round on the points raised here. We don't have all the answers, and that's why, and I'd like to call the attention of all participants in the conference. There is a poster outside in the booth with a QR code, and that QR code guide you to a questionnaire where you can put your ideas. And we have a team of consultants here collecting this information to prepare the new National Forest Strategy, which is ongoing. So please, not only the debate here, which is being recorded, my colleagues are taking note, but also the QR code, because there is a team of consultants listening carefully to your points. The points raised about the camels. Camels are the symbol of the country. We love camels, but it's true. It's overgrazing everywhere.
أنا خبير في الاستدامة ممتاز، ومرخص من منظمات دولية الحمد لله في الاستدامة، فأبغى أطور له المحمية مجانا لوجه الله.
Grazing is not wrong. Overgrazing is wrong. And that's what we have to combat. In the terms of the awareness and the making an awareness for the public, your ideas are most welcome. The objective of this meeting, which is actually being achieved, is exactly to raise the importance of awareness. So we hope that we will be more effective in the future every day. we are celebrating International Day of Forests, we celebrate International Day of Mangroves, we celebrate International Day of Mountains. There are other celebrations that the center will promote to make sure that we involve not only scientists or practitioners, but the children, the schools, the associations like the signature that has been done this morning with the Taif Green Association. So we have to be ample in our awareness raising in the kingdom, especially with the young generation. And now to the difficult question. Water is our most scarce resource. No doubt about it. Not only in Saudi Arabia, but particularly in Saudi Arabia. And we are very conscious of this and trying to have as much mitigation measures as possible to make sure that we will not overuse the water. First example, only plant trees using treated wastewater. You can counter-argue telling me, but treated wastewater has a cost of treatment, has been transported. There is a carbon footprint on that. So we have to take it into account. I am convinced we can improve the water harvesting methods in the kingdom. When I see the floods and the torrential floods that we see, even yesterday we went to a valley here nearby to see how we can stop torrential floods to promote groundwater infiltration, facilitate infiltration, to have better recharge of aquifers. I have colleagues, Saudi experts and practitioners trying to do, for instance, fog collection. It may be small, but we have cases of 1 cubic meter per day with small nets collecting fog. We are in the region that fog collection can be a solution. So I'm not preaching for any specific tools, but I'm sure that if we are careful in mitigating the impact of trees, because they will not grow if they don't have the water resource they need. But if we plant the right species, if we find species that are drought tolerant, that have a good root system, that will fix them, help fix dunes, but will not overuse water. That's the problem we have with so many plants in the kingdom, native and not native, especially the exotic ones that we see sometimes so green. You know, we know the cost of water to make that tree green throughout the year. And that, while that is nice in a park or along a road, it's not possible in 10, 20, 100,000 hectares. It's not feasible. So we cannot mix landscape with creating forests or maintaining forests, mainly because of water resource. So you are absolutely right, and I am convinced that we can improve gradually and mitigate the impacts of vegetation, having sustainable systems for water harvesting and water use in vegetation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Eduardo, for your insight. That was very valuable interpretation. So نشكر المتحدثين اللي كانوا معنا اليوم والحضور، ونختتم جلستنا اليوم. والآن لدينا بريك ربع ساعة قبل البدء في الجلسة الثانية في هذه الفعالية. شكرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
هذا الأمير ولا؟
أظن الأميري سعود بن نهاري. تفضل.